Imagine being so feared by the British Empire that soldiers whispered your name in terror. Imagine leading a community of escaped slaves into the mountains and successfully resisting one of the most powerful military forces on Earth. Imagine becoming a symbol of freedom so powerful that centuries later, your face would appear on a nation's currency. Today, we're talking about Nanny of the Maroons, one of Jamaica's national heroes, and one of the greatest resistance leaders in Caribbean history. But what makes Nanny's story remarkable isn't just that she fought the British, it's that she won. To understand Nanny's story, we need to understand Jamaica in the late 1600s and early 1700s. At the time, Jamaica was a British colony built on slavery. Thousands of Africans were brought to the island against their will and forced to work on plantations. Life for enslaved people was brutal. Long hours, violence, punishment, families separated, freedom stripped away. But not everyone accepted this fate. Some escaped. When they escaped, they fled deep into Jamaica's rugged mountains and forests, where colonial authorities struggled to follow. These communities became known as the Maroons. The British saw the Maroons as a threat. The Maroons saw themselves as free people defending their freedom. Among them, one leader would become legendary: Nanny. The truth is, historians don't know every detail about Nanny's life. Much of what we know comes from oral history passed down through generations. It's believed that Nanny was born in West Africa, likely among the Akan people of present-day Ghana. The Akan brought military traditions, spiritual beliefs, and cultural practices that influenced Maroon society. At some points, Nanny was transported to Jamaica. Whether she escaped slavery or arrived under other circumstances is unclear. What's clear is she emerged as a powerful leader among the Windward Maroons in eastern Jamaica. Nanny was not just a warrior, she was a strategist, a community builder, and a spiritual leader. According to tradition, she was deeply respected for her wisdom. She helped establish a settlement known as Nanny Town, high in the Blue Mountains, making it difficult for British forces to attack. The British had muskets. The British had professional soldiers. The British had resources from a global empire. So how did the Maroons survive? Because Nanny and her people understood something critical. They didn't need to defeat the British in open battle, they only needed to make conquest impossible. The Maroons mastered guerrilla warfare. They knew every trail, every river, every mountain pass. They struck quickly and vanished before soldiers could respond. British troops, marching through dense forests and steep mountains, were ambushed. The Maroons used camouflage, hidden pathways, and surprise attacks. The geography itself was an ally. Nanny's leadership transformed escapees into an organized resistance. Nanny Town wasn't just a refuge, it was a community. Farming, family, culture, freedom was defended. This was nation building. Over time, stories about Nanny grew into legend. Some accounts say she possessed extraordinary spiritual abilities. Others claim she could foresee attacks before they happened. Some even say she could catch bullets and send them back. Historians see these stories as symbolic, not literal, but their existence tells us how deeply respected she was. Across cultures, legendary leaders become larger than life, and Nanny was no exception. Whether or not each story was true, the legends reveal her impact. To the Maroons, Nanny embodied courage, resilience, and hope. The British spent years trying to suppress the Maroons. Military expeditions were launched repeatedly. Resources were poured into campaigns against them, yet victory remained elusive. The cost of fighting the Maroons kept rising. The mountains favored the defenders. The Maroons remained determined. Eventually, the British realized military conquest was too costly. In time, treaties were negotiated between the British and various Maroon groups. While Nanny herself may not have signed later treaties, her leadership ensured the Maroons' strength and legitimacy. The Maroons accomplished something remarkable. They forced the colonial power to recognize their autonomy. Centuries later, Nanny's influence remains visible across Jamaica. She's recognized as one of Jamaica's national heroes. Her image appears on the Jamaican $500 note. Schools teach her story. Communities honor her memory. Historians study her role in one of the most successful resistance movements in the Americas. But Nanny's legacy extends beyond Jamaica. Her story speaks to universal themes: the fight for freedom, resistance against oppression, leadership, community, and that even those facing overwhelming odds can shape history. While we often think of great military leaders as kings or generals, Nanny reminds us greatness can come from different circumstances. A woman leading a community of escaped slaves challenged a mighty empire. Nanny of the Maroons was more than a freedom fighter. She was a strategist, a nation builder, a protector of culture, and a symbol of resistance. Ultimately, she reminds us that freedom is rarely given. It is earned by those willing to risk everything. Today, her story continues to inspire not just Jamaicans, but people around the world who believe in courage and determination. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more stories about the remarkable people who shaped the Caribbean in history. Let me know in the comments, which Caribbean hero should we cover next? Thanks for watching.